Blake Walley here of the New American Media, and today I wanted to talk about baseball. Now, in yesterday's video, I talked about the highlights of 2016, and one of those things I mentioned was how awesome it was that the Cubs did the impossible and pulled off a World Series win. And I mentioned that I used to be a diehard Cubs fan, but I gave up watching about 10 years ago. So when I watched, I had to kind of brush up on who the players were. I didn't know, but I did, follow and enjoy in the playoff run, and it was really cool to actually get to see that. But why did I stop watching baseball? Well, it's because the sport is severely overdue for a major league makeover. Baseball used to be my religion. I used to play ball, I used to collect baseball cards, I spend hours studying statistics, and I watched every game I could and lived and died by every win or loss. But then I finally just gave it up completely, and I ended up doing myself a huge favor. Because now I see it for the enormous waste of time that it really is. Plus, when I was a big fan, every win and loss was such a huge deal. It was, it affected my mood. It affected my day. I mean, it's silly. It wasn't worth it. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a great game to play, but watching it, that's another story. Besides, who has time to follow it anymore these days? It seriously needs to be modernized for the 21st century. It was great in the old days when they played 154 or 162 games. Back then, there wasn't that much else to do. There wasn't TV for a while. There was no video games. There was no internet. It was cheap entertainment. You took your friends or your family and you spent a few hours at the ballpark, and that's great. And you could probably get a hot dog for a nickel and a beer for a dime. But the game no longer makes sense in today's society. And now it costs a small fortune to go out to the game and get the concessions. And we have much busier lives and more things to do. We have access to knowledge and finding new interests that weren't available back then. Does this deserve to continue to be our national pastime? Do we still look up to the players as role models? I get why they were heroes back in the day, but what are they now? They're not exactly astronauts, so why are they getting paid astronomical amounts of money? We're actually paying dumb jocks millions of dollars to hit a ball with a stick. And good for them. The sport really had a great run. But now it's turned into modern day bread and circus. Besides, it's far more enjoyable and rewarding to join your own softball league with your friends. And it's fine to be a spectator too, but it is time for a few updates. Like maybe 100 games tops for the season, or how about games that are 6 or 7 innings long rather than these 9-inning, 3-hour marathons? And how about a World Series that actually ends in the first week of October? Like I said, it's a great sport, but it's time to make it fun and affordable again without draining so much of our time and resources. Anyway, that's my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. Let me know what you think, and thanks for listening. Peace, love, I'm out.